Tonight, a man is dead after a shooting involving Metro Police on the near north side of Indianapolis.
We first brought you this story as breaking news on 13 Sunrise, and since then today, our Karen Campbell's been looking into the shooting, which happened while police were responding to a 911 call.
Karen?
Well, Felicia and Ann, according to Police Chief Chris Bailey, one officer fired his weapon, and that's when an officer-involved shooting happened. That is still under investigation. We've also learned that one of the officers recognized the man as having active warrants out for his arrest. Around 2:30 Tuesday morning, Metro Police got a call about a woman who walked into a store near East Washington and State Street on the near east side of Indianapolis, asking for help, saying she was assaulted by multiple people. When officers got to the scene, they saw a man standing around and tried to talk to him. One officer believed that man had a warrant. The officer reportedly said the man refused to speak with police and walked away with his hands in his pockets. An officer reportedly told the man to take his hands out of his pockets or he'd be tased. IMPD says that man then ran away. Chief Chris Bailey said one officer deployed his taser, and at some point an officer-involved shooting occurred. Detectives said they found a gun next to the man. He was taken to a hospital where he was pronounced dead.
Anytime there's a police-involved shooting, I have to ask myself, was it necessary?
Cliff Marsiglio is with the Near East Side Community Organization. Marsiglio says neighbors try and promote safety.
The information that we're getting now is the suspect had his hands in his pocket and said, "I just don't want to talk to you," to an officer who took offense to that. That should not be a death sentence for anyone.
Marsiglio says he's not putting the blame on the officer who shot and killed the man. He just wants answers.
I want to see the evidence that IMPD brings us, and I want to talk to them about how people can stay safe.
Chief Bailey called the shooting unfortunate.
The officer has to live with this the rest of his life. We don't want this to happen. We prefer that everyone we can comply, and then we can figure things out on the scene rather than running and producing a weapon.
Marsiglio and Bailey both said they pray for the man who lost his life. And Marsiglio said that his organization is expecting to meet with IMPD this week to talk about that shooting. We are also working to find out that identity of the man who was shot and more information on those active warrants police officer said that man had.
All right, Karen Campbell reporting live for us tonight. Thank you. Also tonight, the Marion County coroner has identified a man found shot in the middle of the road before he died at the hospital this morning.
Around 5:45 this morning, officers found 28-year-old Cruz Hodge, who was in critical condition on South Oakland Avenue near Southeastern Avenue. That's on the near east side of Indy.
Police now are trying to figure out how he got there and who's responsible. A former Morgan County teacher now is charged with having sex with a teenage boy in her homes and doing so multiple times.
And tonight, the prosecutor believes strongly that there are additional victims and potentially additional criminal charges coming. Rich and I has been digging through all the disturbing court documents in two separate cases involving a 31-year-old woman from Martinsville.
Right, and I want to keep these cases separate for now, although they certainly have connections. According to court documents, the boy and his grandmother went to police in December to report that he had been coerced into sex with Brittany Fortenberry. Fortenberry is charged with sexual misconduct with a minor and other charges. The teen told investigators that the woman gave him mushrooms and had sex with him several times at her house in Martinsville in October 2023 when he was 15 years old. The boy allegedly said that Fortenberry has had sex with at least 5, maybe 10 boys. Now, in a totally separate case, Fortenberry faces these charges from when she was briefly a math teacher at Eminence High School last July and August. Court records allege that Fortenberry sent sexual videos and photos through social media to 17 and 18-year-old boys. The school district released a statement that includes the welfare and safety of our students as the top priority of the Eminence Community Schools. And as such, the school corporation has been and will continue to fully cooperate with law enforcement and the Morgan County Prosecutor's Office in this matter. Detectives are searching Fortenberry's social media accounts and asking for any other victims to come forward. Her trial in both of these cases is scheduled for June, and it's important to point out that Fortenberry resigned in August when she was first confronted with this allegations of sending the nude photos to boys.
Okay, 2 cases, court documents for both of them. We have continuing coverage online right now at WTHR.com. Thank you, Rich.
Angela.
Felicia, a warmer afternoon that puts temperatures close to 60 degrees for all of central Indiana. We're up 7 from this time yesterday in Indianapolis and Richmond, and it's 5 degrees warmer in Shelbyville, 10 warmer in Bedford. Right now, that again puts temperatures close to 60 under a mainly sunny sky. We're down from our high of 60 to 59 in Indianapolis, 57 degrees in Carmel, 56 Tipton, lots of sunshine Bunker Hill, and currently 57. We will stay in the 50s through 7 o'clock. Once the sun goes down, those temperatures will drop. A few clouds start to head our way overnight as well. Sunrise tomorrow morning, 7:24. Early morning temperatures in the mid-30s, so you'll still need that jacket. You won't need it tomorrow afternoon. We're close to 60 again, but I'd throw the umbrella in. This time tomorrow, we're going to be tracking some rain and some rumbles of thunder. Additional showers possible on Thursday. All of that covered in your 7-day in a few minutes.
Thanks, Angela. And tonight, a good sign for those who want Major League Soccer in Indianapolis. So the league's commissioner made a stop in Indy just yesterday, meeting with state and city leaders.
And today, our Marion County reporter Lauren Kostick shares the reason for his visit after her conversations with the mayor and our Indiana governor.
This week, a step in the right direction for the city's pursuit of a major league team. Governor Braun signaling his support after meeting with the league's commissioner on Monday.
I would think we ought to figure out how to accommodate it because we're a great sports town. It's at the very early part of the conversation.
Later that night, the commissioner was also spotted with Mayor Joe Hogsett at a Pacers game. The mayor calling the conversation productive.
Based on my conversations with the commissioner, he still is optimistic about Indianapolis's chances. He continues to say we're doing the right things.
In a statement, MLS said they appreciated the invitation, saying we always welcome discussions with civic and business leaders committed to growing the sport.
But before the city can make a formal bid to MLS, they still need 2 things to happen. We'll share what those are coming up at 6. In Indianapolis, Lauren Kostick, 13 News.
Also, Pacers Sports and Entertainment officially confirmed its involvement. In a statement, the group said they are part of the conversations and are committed to working with elected leaders to explore opportunities. Federal workers now are dealing with a lot of confusion tonight as they try to figure out whether they need to respond to an email that asks them to justify their jobs.
And while they deal with that situation, former federal workers are bombarding the offices of lawmakers, trying to get answers about why they lost their jobs. Aaron Gilchrist shares their push for answers from Washington, D.C.
Everybody move, please.
Hundreds of fired federal workers taking their anger and questions to Capitol Hill, crowding into and overwhelming lawmakers' offices, demanding answers.
I think it's really cruel to fire people for poor performance when they've only had great feedback.
To why they were seemingly randomly fired by billionaire Elon Musk and his Department of Government Efficiency.
I felt really proud being an American working at USAID. I really felt that we were providing support and care to humanity around the world because it's the right thing to do. And that made me feel proud no matter who was president.
Republicans who've felt the anger from constituents back home, like Congressman Rich McCormick, softening their tone.
I'm all for trimming the government. I'm all for also doing it in a deliberate manner that allows people to adjust in their lifestyle.
McCormick, just one GOP lawmaker, expected to meet with the president today to discuss the firings and the cuts to come. Meanwhile, federal employees who still have jobs may get a second email asking them to explain their work. Musk posting on social media that failure to respond again will mean termination, contradicting what the government said yesterday that responding was voluntary. The White House saying today President Trump supports his secretary's directions.
So again, the agency heads will determine the best practices for their employees at their specific agencies.
Everyone goes through a review process all the time, every single year. You just don't do it in this kind of way and just make it easy for China to collect data on the American people.
Still, for some, more questions than answers.
I have cried every day. I have a 15-month-old at home, and I'm looking at him and thinking, well, what's this country that we're now living in?
As the president pushes forward with his vision to reshape the federal government.
So that was Aaron Gilchrist reporting. 21 DOJ service staffers resigned today, saying they would not jeopardize American sensitive information or dismantle critical public services. In a letter, the staffers who originally worked for the agency when it was known as the United States Digital Service did not sign their names, but instead listed their job titles.
Tonight, we're learning that Pope Francis is still in critical condition. He is said to be stable right now. People are leaving flowers, candles, and get well wishes outside the hospital in Rome, where he's hospitalized right now with double pneumonia. An evening update coming in from the Vatican says that the Pope had a follow-up CAT scan today to check his lung infection. They didn't provide any details of what that screening showed. The update went on to say that the Pope received the Eucharist today and did some work from the hospital.